Hello, and welcome to the I'm Just Saying podcast. It is me, Andrea Clinton, your host, and I am here with a good friend, actor, producer, director, someone I love working with, the star of the Cassidy series, the one and only Staxx Cordero. Hey, Staxx, what's up? The first of many podcasts we're going to do together. How you doing?
I'm good. Much better these days. You know, you still have to find your creative niche during this whole pandemic. It's very weird out here these days, but you know, we still here, so we got to push. We got to do it.
Tell me about it. So, Staxx, you know, I just started my little podcast.
Oh, congratulations.
That's right. I'm just saying. I'm trying to think of a title, but then I said, okay, it's supposed to be about giving a platform to those in entertainment, whether they're in front of the camera or behind the camera or both, so that we could just talk about life and everything, you know, going on and how we deal with it. Since, you know, mental health is really a huge thing in entertainment, even pre-pandemic. And then also, I wanted to interview people like yourself who are doing the darn thing and making it happen in entertainment through everything, through the thick, the thin, the pandemic, transitioning with presidents and stimulus and everything, you know? And so, yeah, and I had to have you on because you're doing some good things. You got your book out, you got plays, which we know are on hold, but you also have, you know, film and web series and everything. So we're getting ready to get into the nitty gritty with Staxx Cordero.
Oh, that's the name of it? The nitty gritty. Oh.
That's what we can't really get into it, but that's a thought. I named it I'm Just Saying, but I don't know. Maybe we'll think about this nitty gritty thing.
I think you should. I almost had a tattoo that said that, down to the nitty gritty.
Where was the tattoo?
I didn't get it.
Oh, okay. Well, where was it going to go?
It was going to be on my lower back.
Oh, see? That's what I'm saying. I had a funny...
No, but I mean, because people are nosy. So like if you wear like a half shirt and they checking you out anyway, I might as well give you something to look at. I'm just saying. So, you know, that's what it was. I didn't get it, though. I don't have any tattoos.
I'm not trying to put ideas in your head or midlife crisis folks. You know, they get them ideas. But I'm just saying. Tell them about Miss Staxx Cordero, who she is, what she's been up to, what has gotten you where you are.
Well, if you really want a full snapshot, I suggest you go to Amazon and pick up I Am Relentless. And that can tell you a whole lot about me. But who I am is an entertainer. I'm a mom. I'm a friend. And I'm relentless. That's me in short. What do? I started out dancing. Music has always been something that held my attention. Being introduced to the stage at a young age is something that really was overwhelming in a great way. One of the people to inspire me was Michael Jackson and Prince. They both had really different styles and really dedicated to performing and giving 1,000,000% when they were on stage. I always had goosebumps watching them. Hip hop, you know, that's something that, you know, it just runs through my veins anyway. You know, I used to read the lyrics with Curtis Blow's lyrics to Daydreaming, to Basketball, all of that stuff. Even before like Roxanne Shante, it was Curtis Blow, it was Run DMC, it was Grandmaster Flash. You know what I mean? Like these were the people. But one of the first people to ever really make me want to start rapping was when I heard Roxanne Shante. And she was just so sassy and in your face with it. I was like, oh, and before I knew it, it was something. You know, what I know now is that there was the need to be creative. There was something in me that needed to be birthed, that needed to come out. And what I know now about myself at that age is that she had inspired me. So it was bugging me. Something needed to come out. And it came out in class. Acting wasn't something that I initially had an interest in. I loved playing around. I loved playing around with accents. That's something that we always did in my house, you know. And so I guess it was just something that, you know, came natural. I've always been very expressive. And so my English teacher, when I didn't get into performing arts for dance, she's like, well, why don't you try, you know, drama? And I'm like, okay. And I got a call back. I didn't get a call back for dance, which is something that I love. But I got a call back for drama. And in the drama department, I met a lot of people. I learned a lot about myself. And there was actually a dance studio in the drama department. And I didn't lose anything because we danced at least 3 to 4 times a week anyway. So I still was able to dance, but just not like the ballet, the modern, the jazz, you know, that I really, really wanted. But they prepare you for Broadway. So you learn how to sing, you learn how to do your makeup, all of this great stuff in the drama department. Writing is something that I've always done, but never really paid close attention to. And it's something that I got paid for, whether I was ghostwriting for a project or, a big corporation, like something with McDonald's at a young age, getting paid to write things for them, writing papers for people in college. Yeah, I'll give you $250, I'll give you $300. And they coming out with 8 papers. And I'm like, yeah, okay. But it wasn't anything. I guess maybe I just took advantage of it, but I embrace it now. It allows a certain freedom. And especially now during the pandemic, writing is one of the ways of freedom that I can express myself creatively, while I long to be back, in theater rehearsing on a set, filming, stuff like that. This is the one thing that I can complete on my own and I don't need any assistance. So I'm really excited about that. And it's getting a great reception.
Yeah, it really is. I'm seeing how everybody is, always on your social media, giving you kudos, commending you and thumbs up on what you do. And you're always doing something. And I got to tell you, you're one of the hardest working people I know.
Thank you.
I saw you on, what show was that? What was that TV show not Dr. Phil, what was it?
Dr. Oz.
Yes. When I saw you on Dr. Oz, I just happened to be turning the channel. I'm not positive because you were on twice. One of those times I just happened to be turning the channel and I said, is that Staxx? Yo, that was one of my proud moments. Staxx is, just so everybody knows, Staxx and I are friends. We actually met through my cousin Keisha some years ago. I can't remember how many years ago it was by now, but, cause time is ticking, but that was one of my most proudest moments when I was just like, yo.
Maybe 7.
Was it 87? No.
No. Maybe 7 years.
Was it 7 years? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, about that. If not
about that. Cause I think that might have been around, when she came on because she traveled with us and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not about to do the math.
No, because it's 21 now, and in 2015 there was a big shift, in my life. But a year prior to that, 2014, like 2013, I produced a play, and it started. It was taking its wings and doing what it needed to do. And she'd come to see the show quite a few times, and then I offered her a role because she's like, "What can I do?" And I said, "Can you act?" And she's like, yeah. And I just saw her as the character, that she became. And she really, her name is Hustle and Flow in the play. And she took that role so serious. There are no small roles. If you're an actor, actress, you're watching this, there are no small roles. The only thing that's small is the attitude that you bring to the character. And she gave everything. I gave her some bars, so she had to rap. She was like, I don't know how to rap. I said, but you're going to learn. You want to learn? She's like, yeah, I want to do it. She actually went into the studio, recorded it, and gave it to me. She was like, here, I was working with some people, and here you go. And I said, wow. So she had it down pat. She had exactly what I wanted in that character and more.
Yeah, Keisha is something else, and she's good with introducing people. Keisha is a casting director in life. She will cast your shows, your play, your film, or whatever, and then she will introduce you to the people that she feel like you guys can be a benefit to one another. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, she's fiery. Hey, Aries.
She introduced us, and we've just been friends ever since. I think our first conversations, we were talking about producing stuff, and I think that's what made us bond because we were both doing something at the same time, pulling our hair out like, oh, this is a job. But yeah, and so we go back, and I have seen you do some things in entertainment, and I was always taken aback that you were a radio personality. I was just like, she just don't quit, this girl. And that always floored me. For some reason, publicists and people in media, I'm always good friends with. I don't know if I have a degree in journalism. That was my first degree. I don't know if that has something to do with it or what, but I always just attract. I just know we're friends on social media, friends, whatever. So when I realized that you were a radio personality, I was like, here we go again. Another friend in media. But when I saw you on Mr. Oz, I was like, was it Mr. Oz? You hear me? Dr. Oz. I was just like, I was in shock, like mouth wide open, like, yo, she is doing it. Did you get an agent? Did you get a manager? Like, are we moving up? What's happening to us?
You mean at that time or now?
Yeah, because you have been doing so many things, and now I see you on TV.
I'm actually someone that used to work at the show. It's all about who you know. So this person had a good rapport, and they used to call her to come and do the show. She put my name out there, and that was pretty much that. And the great thing about, loving what it is that you do is I went in there and I knocked it out in 2 takes, and they were like, wait a minute, that was perfect. Wait. Let's do it again. And I'm like, okay, but I don't know. I'm so hungry for this to go right and to just keep moving and just to keep it fluid that when I go in there that one time, and sometimes you don't get a second chance, and that's how I look at everything. So you go in there that one time, knock it out. So that's what I'm ready to do. But they were like, okay, wait, can you do it again? I'm like, yeah, I can do it again. Let's do it. So we had fun, and that was the whole thing with tummy issues. Now, one of the most embarrassing moments for me on that show was I had my hair, it was braided like this. It was longer. The braids were thicker, and it was up in a bun. And so it was up in a bun, it was all twisted around like this or whatever. So I'm standing there talking to Dr. Oz, and it just slowly starts to unravel. And I just was like, yeah, thinking in my head, what?
I think I remember that, but it didn't go over, any kind of way. I think it flowed because it was you were moving too. And so by you moving, you could see that, and you played it off good. It was not.
Yeah. I had to bring it down. My sister, she sent me the video in slow motion. Like it was going regular and it went in slow motion. She said, but it's the smoothness and how you handled it. Like, yeah. She said, I didn't see it on your face, but I know you was dying inside. I said, yes, I was dying inside. Here I am on national damn TV and the braid want to come down. The women in hair and makeup were like, oh my God. We were all like,
No, listen, one thing,
funny.
And I actually had that as one of the things to talk about. One of the things that I learned about you early on is that, and that's the reason why as a director, for those of you who don't know, Staxx is Cassidy on the Cassidy series. And one of the things I learned early on about you, and I said, remember I told you, I said, we're going to work together. Mm-hmm. On the phone, it was certain things I was seeing. And I said, not only are you flexible, but you go with the flow. You know how some people go against the grain and they walk away upset or whatever. You don't, you embrace it. You know what I mean? And that's what I noticed you doing. That's what you did with the hair. And when we filmed Cassidy, you did that a lot. I was like, even when we filmed Cassidy, I think I might have said it to you also. I was like, yeah, we're going to film something else. Because I like, as a director, and you like working with people that not only bring it, but they don't sit and complain and, carry on, but let's make lemonade out of lemons, or let's take that and incorporate that and have fun with it. But it's okay.
You can close the window?
Yeah, if you can. Because I'll cut right there. You don't even have to do it. All right, so I got to tell y'all what just happened, right? So I had the pause. This is what I'm talking about. So I had the pause, right? And it's in the middle of the interview. And so before I came back on, she said, all right, so we were at, and then she told me where we were at. That's what I'm talking about. That's the point I was just making, that you will go with the flow. Listen, and I say this about other people, because there's some actors who will get out there and produce and direct, and I've seen them, and that's kudos to them. So I can't say this about everybody, but what I can say about you is how you're producing and you're directing. It really helps out when we film, because there's certain things you just know. It is the most, where the heck did that situation come from? And your bounce back and how you deal with it and how you know what it's like to be the director or to be the producer. You compensate. And I love that. I remember telling Abdul Rahim, for those of you who don't know, Abdul Rahim is my partner, filming partner, producing partner. And I told him, I said, I will work with her any day, anywhere. He said, right on. Because you just,
Thank you.
Any producer, director out there who has worked with actors, you know what I'm saying. You can appreciate somebody who understands your job and contributes to making it easy or doing what they can. So that was a prime example.
I think, well, you're welcome. I just know it's easy to kind of, like if you were reading a book, it's easy to kind of lose your page if you have a big book. So, if I could be the bookmark girl, let's do it. In regards to going with the flow, as an entertainer, these are some of the things that you have to do. You just have to keep up and keep going, whatever it is that happens. And I can definitely give big kudos to the dance director of the dance company that I was in, because if there was a malfunction with your costume, if you fell, if you forgot a step, whatever it is, you have to keep going, because the audience doesn't know what's supposed to be happening anyway. So you keep going. You make it part of whatever it is that you're doing until you get yourself back where you need to be, and you should be straight, So that was, that's just one of the things that I've always done.
So because you have so many layers, I'm going to take it layer by layer. Let's start with the acting. When did you decide that you wanted to become an actor? Like, no, this is what I'm going to do. I am an actor and I'm going to act.
There were a lot of defining moments. I'll give you 3 short examples. One of the first ones was the Senior Drama Festival. I had 2 lines. I was sick as a dog. I had been out. I think I missed, there was a senior project I was supposed to do, and my partner was really upset with me, but I was sick, and my voice was hoarse. And I showed up anyway, drinking tea and everything. I showed up anyway. And with those 2 lines, it was the attitude. It was, what I brought to the character and, hitting those beats. Even in the 2 lines, that's still beats. Okay, so you work those 2 lines because they'll be memorable. And the next day, or maybe the next 2 days, whatever it was, whoever was in the audience, I had to go see for a movie, and I had to go see for an agency. And nobody else in the play did. And they were pissed because you have the main characters, you have this one, you have that one, you know how it is. So these people are like, well, why the hell did she get a call back? Hey, and I felt kind of bad. Because it's like, damn, I thought y'all would, but no, you're not going to be happy because it doesn't matter what race you are. We still competition at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So those 2 lines worked for me, but it didn't work for other people. That was one defining moment for me. Another it was 2005, I believe. There was an audition. My friend Isham Taufik, Blacklist. I saw him at a picnic. He was in a dance company as well. So that's how I know him. And he was always real cool people. And he was telling me that he was acting. And I was like, for real? So I became part of the live theater gang. And there was an audition for this play that I did called The Diva and the Rapper. And they needed a headshot, and you needed to know a monologue. And of course, you needed to know how to rap. I only knew how to rap. I didn't have a monologue memorized because it had been some time, since I'd done theater. Life happens. So if you read the book, you'll know. And so it was the last day of auditions. And I was like, oh my God, I don't have any of this stuff. But I went, I killed it. They were like, auditions, callback is on Saturday from this time to this time. I'm like, all right, cool. So I went to the audition. I had a callback during the audition. And since I had the callback times, I was like, okay, cool. So I went and took pictures, blew them up to 8x10, put my information on the back, and I ran down there and I made it in time on that Saturday. And they were packing up. But y'all said 11 to 1, and it's only 12:15. And they were like, oh, we did say that, but we didn't call you. We didn't have any information. So, an actor prepares. I wasn't prepared, but I was driven. So this may not work for you, but it works for me because they let me audition and they remembered as soon as I started reading, they remembered. As soon as I started rapping, I had them blocked. So that Sunday, they had to call and disappoint someone that they had already given the role to. And so, or actually, I think we ended up splitting the role because there were 14 shows. So now she had 7 and I had 7 because they weren't going to let me get away. That role led me to performing that play 50 times. There were write-ups in the Amsterdam News twice about it. And they got a head nod from the Adelco Awards folks panel because they were there and they loved it. The third time that the acting bug bit me, I'm going to say it was on set for Cassidy because, sometimes even though you're in something, and I don't take any roles that come to me for granted at all. Anything that comes my way, I always give it 100%. But Cassidy is very emotional and I had to cry. Mm-hmm. So I had to take myself to a painful place, and I had to go there and I was able to go there. And I was like, I want this. This is really what I want. I want to wake up and do this. And I just became, more driven to say, this is what I want to wake up and do. And I would just lay everything out every day. And until it becomes something that I do every day, I'm going to continue to say it every day. Mm-hmm. And even when it becomes something I do every day, I'm going to cherish each project I have every day, because that's what's going to pay my bills. Not a 9-to-5 that, that's just kind of being with a mate you don't want to be with. You have to get with what's right for you. And I know what's right for me.
And I got to tell you, on a set of Cassidy, I was expecting you to take it. And you rose to the occasion of the direction. And it was, by then we were on episode 3 and we had some episodes. So I think we had more than got our feet wet and we, our motor was pretty much running and we knew what to expect from one another. But when that part came, and I don't want to say it, they'll see it soon, and you had to cry, I looked at you and I saw, it was a whole other layer that I saw. And I had cried many times before you did that part. But it was just something about that particular time that's why I let the camera roll. If you notice, I didn't stop you. And I said to myself, at some point, she's probably, because they say you let the actor tell you, you don't, cut them off, So I just let it rip until, I saw that you had reached that point or that peak of that scene. But that just showed me a whole other layer. So I can imagine, I'm not surprised. Let me say that. I'm not surprised to hear you say that was a moment for you, because they have to see it to understand if you didn't see it, it's out. It's actually on YouTube now, Cassidy episode 3. And you just added a whole other layer. As a matter of fact, they say, when you write, that's one way. And then when the director directs it, that's another way. And then when you get to the editing board, the cutting board, then it's written another way. And that's what happened. Because the way that script was written, and that's not what you see on the screen. The way that editing happened, it had to be incorporated. There was no way we could have left that out. And it changed the dynamic a little bit. It began to speak to myself, to Abdul Rahim, and my son who edits, and I used him as a consultant. It became apparent what other things we needed to add. And that's why you see those little subtitles in between. It just all kind of came together like a nice, I'm going to use a food analogy since I didn't have lunch. It came together like the best Burger King Whopper. They could cut my check. But it just, it just all the ingredients just kind of all came together as to how that cut had to be. And I say that all is just from what you brought to the table. I
enjoyed it. Yeah. I enjoyed it. And it was freeing, I had to be, I was freeing. It was a defining moment for me in a certain situation. And so I used that because it was hurtful, I'm thankful for all my experiences because I can use them.
It was very fitting, and I want to thank you because I know actors sometimes, depending on what style they find their as if, right? And sometimes as if does not fit, and so then the director has to come in and massage it more to make it fit. Yours was spot on. But so it's been kind of on my mind since I saw that scene. I wanted to ask you, because it was so real and it was so from such a deep place. Not where, because you just told me where. How did you pull back for those actors who are new to the game and, want some, because, I do this also for the new actors or the new people in entertainment. How did you pull in? Because you professionally, when it was done, you wiped your face and everything, and then you took a moment. And I said to myself, how was she pulling back from there? I just watched you because I wanted to see, but I could tell it was something internal. It wasn't something I was going to see externally. How did you pull it all back in once you had released that vulnerability and the tears and the crying?
I don't think anybody likes to cry long. I can compare it to, when a little kid gets in trouble, they get a spanking, but then they may see something funny and they start laughing. So you kind of forget about the pain, so when it's cut, it's cut. And when it's over, it's over. And the situation that I used, that situation was over. And I was still in it. But the comment that was made, the behavior, all of that contributed to those feelings that I used for that day. And me knowing that situation was over and it was dead. When you said cut, those feelings were dead. You can't keep taking it with you, So you recycle it as you need to. And when it's done, it's done. You inhale, exhale, and you keep it pushing.
So extend just a little bit more. Tell a young actor who has to go out there and cry. Maybe they can cry, because I've seen some of them, but they have.
Sometimes you can't cry. Sometimes, okay, it's not up to us what's in the script, right? But it has to be real to you. It has to be real to you. You may have to write some things down. You may have to look at your favorite actor. One of everybody's favorite episodes of The Fresh Prince is when Will Smith, has that scene with Uncle Phil where he's trying to brush it off about his father not being there for him and not him not having the relationship that he wished he had with him. It couldn't be one dry eye even at home that watched that film. Even if you didn't cry, you got a little misty. Something happened. You had a little allergic reaction. Ooh, it got you. It tugged at your heartstrings. You have to go there with any script that you get. and be able to bring the same type of emotions that Will tapped into, whether it was real, whether, that was actual real life for him or not. But it has to really speak to you. It has to speak to you. And you have to find that place where you can cry. You have to find that place. And once you find that place, once it's cut, you inhale, exhale, and just take maybe like 10 seconds for yourself, maybe 15, even if you need like a full minute. And you just come back to where you need to come back to. Just take a moment for yourself and come back to where you need to come back to.
Yeah, that's what I always wonder. I've heard acting coaches tell them, let it go, release it. I heard actors say, don't hold on to it, let it go, release it. And I say to myself, like, I guess because, like I say all the time, I'm Taurus, the bull, stubborn, or I have some, and people don't believe me, but I don't go by the zodiac 100%, but I do know that certain things, they just fall into place. So we got to call it what it is. And one of the things with me is because I'm a Taurus, when the smoke comes out the sides of your ears, you're angry like that. And it's hard. Even in my relationships, my ex would say, all right, well, we're not mad. Let it go. And in my brain, it's like, yo, you're going to have to give me some time. Like when I get into that emotional place, it's hard. Now I'm thinking acting will be different because I'm not actually angry with that person. But I really feel for the actors when they need help pulling back. I usually just give them time. I might put on a song or something or crack a joke and then everybody's joking or something. And then it changes the mood, tell them good job or whatever. And then give them a second to pull it, together. I've even allowed actors to go into the bathroom or go in hair and makeup or whatever. And, sometimes the hair and makeup person I know, they know because they're familiar with that and they'll just kind of talk about anything and it gets their mind. But I've seen actors say, matter of fact, I even had an actor who said, I left rehearsal yesterday, but I had a hard time driving home. I continued to cry. And all I could do was walk her over to one of the vets, because what I told her, evidently, sometimes I need to hear it from another actor, because they do it also. And so that's why I was wondering when I saw you, like it all came back to me because I was watching you. And this is for, again, all the actors who want those serious roles and have never had them. I watched you, take your second. People were still talking and laughing around you or whatever. And you took your second. And I'll never forget, you said, I guess when you were closer to, being back to normal, you said, all right, you better suck it up because I gave you everything I had. Remember that?
Yeah. I hope you got everything. I hope you got everything. You know why? Because just me, who I am, I'm hard, so I don't cry like that. I have to really, I gotta want it. And you gave me an opportunity to be the face of Cassidy. So I want to give you everything that you need. And I want her to be what you want her to be and more. I want her to be bigger. So when you made the comment of saying, the way you wrote it is one way, the way it's directed is another way. When it's editing is something different, and when you put it into the actor's hands, it also becomes something different too, because it's how we interpret it, right? So there's 4 different perspectives to a script. Or 5, because then you have the audience and how they received it. Mm-hmm. But it's bigger. It's bigger than your initial idea. Mm-hmm. It gets bigger than your initial idea, especially, once it translates on film, it's like, oh, wow, this is better than what, and so as an actor, that's what we should, that should be our intention, to make it better than you originally imagined it to be, to make it bigger than you. Oh, wow, I didn't know that we could take it here. No, we taking it here. We taking it there. We on Pluto with this thing, girl. We going places. That's what we doing, so I challenged myself, to cry. I'm not a crier. I hate to see shows where people are like, no, sis, you didn't cry. Come on. I hate that. Yeah. Cause then it feels like to me that maybe they were doing it too much or something like that. So the person is just like, you wiping fake tears is not even there. Like, I don't want to do that. So if it says I have to cry, I will work until the tears come. But if somebody just tells me, oh, I have something for you, you're going to love it, you're going to cry. And I'm like, no, I'm not that. Let me decide if I'm going to cry or not.
Listen, I had a professor and she said to me, I emailed her and I said, this is when I was in grad school. And I said, listen, I'm trying so hard. Shout out to Sue at Montclair State University. I said, I'm trying so hard with this actor. I said, but for some reason she will not cry. And it's the saddest darn part, where the mother was abusing her and she snapped and she killed the mother. And I'm like, she's crying, but it's fake tears. And I have 3 things that I tell actors. I said,
that's the worst.
Yeah, I said there's performing, and that's your Shakespeare to be or not to be. There's acting, and that's when you act like you're the person or the character. And then it's being, right? So I always try to, like every other director, I try to encourage them, or like every other director should, I try to encourage them to be the character in that moment. You've heard me say it a million times, be the character in that moment. And so this particular actor would not cry. And I told her, I said, what you're doing is you're walking up to the door. You took this character through this whole script, a whole hour and a half long. We get to that pivotal moment, and then you say no, and you stop her from continuing on living so that you can live. And I had an actor say, what do you mean? I said, what do you mean? For the past hour and like 20 minutes, you were, let's just make up a name. You were Sharon. That's the name of that character, right? I'll give that character's name. For the hour and 20 minutes, you were Sharon. When we get to the minute where Sharon finally has her say, you came back to yourself. Let's say her name is Lisa. You came back to Lisa. But what happens with Sharon? Does she just get stuffed in a closet somewhere? Don't walk her up to the door and then don't let her go in the room. Let her have that. This is her say. This is her moment. Give it to her. And when she looked at it like that, she stopped associating herself with having to cry and started seeing the character as having a moment. And she got closer to Korea. I'm not going to tell you that good Hollywood story that she went and she nailed it. This was one of the nights in rehearsal. She got closer, much closer, enough for me to say, okay. And then the next night, I took her even further. And by the time that play went on, when I tell you that girl cried, she had the whole audience. I had to have tissues in my pocket because by tech night, she was killing it. And I knew what was coming, and I could not stop crying watching her, So, but yeah, that's why I tell people acting is not for the faint of heart. If you are not going to allow yourself to be, what's the word I always use?
Is it vulnerable?
Yes. Why can't I think of my own word? If you're not going to allow yourself to be vulnerable, don't do it. Don't. Because comedy is only going to last for so long. The tough guy you're going to play is only going to last for so long. Eventually, they're going to have a moment. And Andrea Clinton, I love to make men cry. I've had Ronald and them say all the time, like, why somebody always got to cry? I love it. They don't really cry in real life, or they don't show it.
Right.
Who was your inspiration? Because again, you are multidisciplinary. You are a multidisciplinarian. I hope I said that right. If not, I made up a new word. I'm going to reach out to Webster. But you rap, you act, you write screenplays and so on. And now you're an author. Like, I
direct too.
I was going to say, I'm sorry. I knew I was missing something. And you direct and you produce. Did I say that? No? Well, you produce. She does it all. So is there anyone over the years that you've seen that kind of inspired you?
In regards to finally...
just doing everything, being
There's a lot of people. Okay, so Michael Jackson is definitely one of them. And I had the doll. I used to watch his performances. Just watching him perform was so magical. Mm-hmm. I used to literally get goosebumps and be teary-eyed in the house. LL Cool J was another one. Like you watched him go from being in Crush Groove, the kid that's dying for somebody to just listen to his music. In Crush Groove, he bust in the room with his radio and he was rapping for them. And listen, you gonna hear me. Yep. That's the kind of attitude I have. You're gonna hear me. You're gonna see me. You're gonna love me. That's who I am. That's the attitude that I have with everything. So if I hear, even to this day, like on a personal note, if I hear that somebody doesn't like me, I'm like, why? That's me. You crazy?
I don't even understand that. And then I have to realize.
I don't know. Listen, I just honestly, it could go somewhere else. I don't want it to go somewhere else. But I just heard that, somebody close to me, felt a certain way about me. And I'm just like, wow, I would never know that. Mm-hmm. And that was very hurtful. So, sometimes you just have to separate yourself from people, and I'm going to do that. And it's like, okay, but I never knew. So yeah, Michael Jackson, LL, Oprah.
It's so funny. I'm sorry, we're going to come back to Oprah, but it's so funny that you said LL, and that's only because I always see LL, even though I found out he's closer to my age than I thought. But when he came, he looked so young. And like you said, the way they portrayed it was almost like he kicked down the door. Like, I'm telling you, open the door, you're going to let me in. And
I'm coming.
Yeah, I just love that, and then I love what he's done with himself. And, he raps, and I'm sure he's produced, and acting, and he's been doing it, for a minute, and on TV. And so I get that. But I would not have thought that you would have chose him, but I get that.
You can't forget who inspired you. Mm-hmm. So this is the first interview that I've said LL Cool J, but yeah, LL. And I'm going to tell you something. When he was being nominated for an award, I think it was the American Music Awards, he was being nominated for an award, and my mother turned off the TV and I lost it. I was jumping on the couch. Oh my God. But you know that's just where my excitement took me. Get your ass down off my couch. I'm like, I got down off the couch, but she turned off the TV because, well, what it was is I was like, turn the goddamn TV back on. And she was like, there was a moment in my house where everything's like, that's that pin drop moment in a black mother's house. These are things that you just don't say. And I was like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And I was really sorry. Like, I'm still sorry to this. I should call her today and be like, Mom, I'm sorry. For what? To tell you to turn the TV back on that time, I might call her after this and tell her, I'm sorry. But yeah, I'm just that passionate about it. Another person, a sister, well, yeah, aside from Oprah, because Oprah, she went from her show and then she showed her chops in Color Purple. So she showed when she want, she could do that. And I like that. She's like, she chooses the roles she's going to take. You know what I'm saying? She'll go from, went from Color Purple to, what was the movie? I can't think of it right now, but she had like the affair with Terrence Howard in the movie.
Oh, The Butler, was it?
Yes, The Butler was a good movie. That was a good movie. And then the other one, it was kind of like some wizard stuff going on. But anyway, she shows up when she wants. But Oprah, come on, Oprah's dope. And then she has her own channel, The OWN channel.
If you pay attention to Oprah out there in podcast world, then you'll see exactly what Staxx is saying, because when she was in The Butler, and I think she was holding a cigarette or something, and I was saying to myself, oh my God, because sometimes I think, well, most people, if it's someone you can relate to, you tend to like them more, right? And so a lot of times people see Oprah as this billionaire, right? They don't realize that she came through the ranks like us, like she grew up like us, right?
Right.
But then when you see her in a role like that, you remember, and I guarantee you, if I was on the stock market, like Wall Street or whatever for celebrities, I would tell you when she was doing those scenes in The Butler and she had that cigarette and how she was acting, I bet you her stocks rose. I bet you in the black community, I bet you, because you began to relate. And I feel the same way about Jada Pinkett. I believe Jada Pinkett is a really great actress. I wish we saw her more. And I get so angry when I say, some people say Woo was bad, because I don't think it was. I just think we females are catty sometimes. And I think that's what it was, because it was a picture. I enjoyed it. It was funny. But Woo.
Oh, Woo. Okay.
I like Woo. I don't care. Some people, whenever I say it on social media, whatever, that was good. Anyway, I think that she was really good. But I'll tell you, notice they loved her when she was in the college picture. What was it? A Different World. Right? Notice that, they really loved her. They were really checking for her then.
Yeah.
And notice that they loved her when she was in Set It Off.
Oh my God.
Because everybody related. She was from around the way, right? But then we don't see her in those kind of roles anymore. And
she was so good, man. She was so good. Maybe because she outgrew it. And if she has a say in what kind of roles she's going to take, she's not going to take it. She's probably really going to want something that challenges her. When I first read The Coldest Winter Ever by Sister Souljah, that book, man, when I first read that book and when I heard that she was going to, because, when you read a book, you kind of put in your mind the character moving around. So when they were saying that she was going to play that character, I was just wondering how she was going to bring it to life. Mm-hmm. I was just really curious about how she was going to do it. And it never materialized, but I still think that it should. So whoever's listening and watching, y'all should do that. And I want a piece just because I'm encouraging you to do it. Just saying.
Love to see it also. I haven't even read the book yet, but I keep saying that I don't know why every time I have it and I say I'm going to read it, but I don't know what the heck happens. But
you should read it because it will definitely take you somewhere with some more urban characters. I don't want to leave this sister out because you asked about the people that inspired me. So I just want to go back because I have a tendency to veer off, and I did. So I went to see Black Girls Rock a few years back. Mm-hmm. Someone gifted me with some tickets. Gregory. Hey, Gregory. So Gregory gifted me with some tickets and I went to go see Black Girls Rock. So one of the women that were honored was Mara Brock Akil. And when they showed her work, I was like, oh my God, because who didn't love Girlfriends? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And who didn't love, she just had her hand in so much stuff. I was like, stuff that I loved. I was like, what? And so then they showed her and I was like, oh, she's so pretty. Yeah. Oh my God, she's gorgeous. And she's married and she got kids. This can work. This can happen. I could do it. And she had the director chair.
Yeah.
I was done. I said, oh my God. So I didn't know that I was going to end up, producing Poor Girl, Rich Girl, directing Poor Girl, Rich Girl. But the reason why I chose to direct it is because I didn't want to micromanage the person that I would bring on to direct it, because I have my own view of what it should look like. So those are the people that inspire me. Michael Jackson, LL Cool J, Oprah, Mara, Brock, Akil.
Yeah, those are good selections also. And I can see why you chose each and every one of them.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So tell us something about Staxx that we do not know. Because there's so many things. Tell us something about you that we don't know.
That outside of my talents, my talents make me an extrovert, but I'm actually an introvert.
And you know what?
And I'm shy too.
And I'm going to second. I don't know about that shy business. I can imagine.
Yeah, I am. I may not be shy with you, but I have my shy moments.
That's what I was going to say. I can imagine that you may be, because you're not. I'm the opposite. I'm loud and wild, and I try to control it, but I just don't want to stifle myself. But anyway. But no, I get the introvert part. Did you say introvert?
I did.
Yeah, I get that. Because sometimes when we're talking, I have to pull.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you give me this look, and my daughter's an introvert, so I know the look, and I don't say it to you, but in my head, I'm like, oh my God, if she don't stop. But it's like, when a person is an introvert, they're not going to offer it up on a platter. They're thinking of it. It's all internal, and you're trying to get them to communicate it. And sometimes
I'm a thinker for sure. Yeah.
And sometimes and then the fact that you're creative is not helpful either, because, creatives, we're always in our head thinking, planning, writing in our head, or whether it's on, in our head or on paper or whatever. So it's a lot. We internalize a lot. So you got two things that have you internal. And so I see that for sure. I definitely see that. So listen, this is the close of our interview with Staxx Cordero. Share with them about your book and your social medias.
Okay. I'd love for you to go and get the book. It's entitled I Am Relentless. It's written as a novel. This is definitely a page turner. People are reading it within a day to 2 days. It's a book that you can't put down. I'm not saying that because I wrote it. I'm saying it because that's what's coming back to me. But it's a great read. It's inspirational. It'll make you want to give back to the things that you love doing. If you're a dreamer, it'll fuel you to continue dreaming. And it's just a real good, it's a feel good book, So go check it out. It's on Amazon. I Am Relentless. On social media, I think the best way to find me would be Instagram, because my Facebook is all filled up and I don't have a fan page. I'd rather just have an Instagram. So you can find me on Staxx Cordero on Instagram. And thank you, Andrea, for having me on I'm Just Saying, because, I'm just saying.
That's right. Staxx. Y'all stay tuned and keep in touch. Go follow Staxx on her social media so you'll be abreast of everything she's doing. And make sure you check her out, because she's going to be helping me co-host several shows. We've already talked about it. In addition to that, you guys go to YouTube and check out Cassidy the series, and check her out on Scratch Radio, right?
Scratch Vision Radio on Saturdays from 1 to 2. And you can head over to Amazon Prime.
That's right. And get that book. What's the name of the title again? Tell them.
I Am Relentless.
That's right. Check it out. Please support. We have to start supporting each other. And y'all stop holding them likes like they food stamps or something. Go on and click the like. It matters. Numbers matter when it comes to, money. It does. Yeah, and those big companies, trying
it does. And click follow.
Yeah, follow
me. I follow back. I like posts back, especially if I like it. Now, if it's strange, I'm like,
So yeah, go check out Cassidy. Episodes 1, 2, and 3 are out. I'm trying to get the rest of the episodes out to you by summer so that you can check that out, because we're going to take it the next season. It's going to be full episodes, and we're going to take Cassidy to another level.
Hey.
Yeah, so please, come out and support Cassidy and Staxx and myself. I call you, that. I call you Cassidy sometimes.
That's funny.
Even when I'm talking to Alex and Peyton, when we're doing the development and all this other business stuff, I'll say, Cassidy, and then they'll say Staxx. I'm like, whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
Same thing. It's the same thing. She's still Cassidy. But
yeah, y'all go and check it out. Leave some comments on, what you think about the show, how you felt she did or whatever. Like I said, it matters. And, look for more things to come our way from both Cassidy and myself. And we will see you soon. You'll see Cassidy on some episodes where we will be co-hosting and talking about various things in entertainment.
Yeah, I'll show up as Cassidy for you.
Oh, we have Cassidy on the fly.
Yeah.
Right? And we have her own podcast, so that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it will.
All right, guys.
Every day is a dawn. listening to I'm Just Saying with Andrea and friends. If you enjoyed today's show, be sure to share, because sharing is caring. Like, comment. Also, if you never want to miss an episode, subscribe, baby.
Dozens being played by our brothers, optimistic figures in the shadows of others climb to the mother. Every day is a dark day. Every day there's no love, there's no love.